Welcome to Jump Scare. I'm Betty.
And I'm Shad.
And we continue our double feature month with The Beach House and After Midnight.
When you see someone change in front of you, and you know there's no going back, it scares me to death.
No one's been here in months.
It's beautiful.
I love you, you know.
I love you too.
Does anyone need a refill?
Yes, please. Have you seen this out here before? It's in the trees.
It's all over. Something in the air.
I felt a little lightheaded before.
It would feel good.
It's like I was knocked out. I can't remember.
Mr. Turner!
Matt!
Miss Turner? Where's Mr. Turner?
It is so nice out today.
What is going on?
I don't know. Something from the water.
I can feel it on the side.
What is it?
I'm just having so much fun.
I need a hospital.
Oh, please! We need help! Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
So The Beach House. This film was picked up by Shudder, which is where we saw it. It actually debuted at the Brooklyn Film Festival, and it was recently in the Chattanooga Film Festival. We were not able to catch that. It was on the list, but we
There's only so much time in the day.
Yeah, we didn't have enough time. We have jobs. And jobs on the weekend. And we missed it, but we caught it this time around. And I wish I would have just kept on missing it.
It's not that bad. But it's not, I don't know.
No, it's fine. It's a Lovecraftian film. So if you're really into Lovecraft, if you liked, Color of Space recently, that would be the most Lovecraft thing to come out. Then you'd like this movie because it's that same premise of, you're going to get invaded by this thing and then you're going to mutate into something new.
Yeah, so we got the premise of it is basically a couple goes to the one guy, it's his parents' beach house. They're in college and having relationship problems, so they decide to go to the beach house to sort it out because that always works out well for everyone. They get there, there's already some people at the beach house that are using it, unbeknownst to him, because he never bothered to call and check to see, who was there.
His dad, if maybe he has people over, which that was his dad's friend, and the older couple, the wife is dying or she has some kind of issue. And, they're weird. They're already a little off, but that's because they're probably going through something and spending her last days at the beach house because was her favorite place.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that really kind of annoys me about the movie is they kind of introduce them, but they really don't do too much with them. There really wasn't much point to them being there.
Spoiler alert. They're only there so then we have 90 minutes of watching people mutate and then killing other people. That's the only reason why they're there.
Well,
because then we don't have a movie. Then we have that other movie called The Room. It's 2 people, and then that's it.
Well, it's they make a big point of they're all drinking and having a good time, and then they're like, oh, we're out of alcohol. There's nothing else, and the guy's like, say, do you know what edibles are? Of course, he just happened to stop by and bring some, he stopped by the dispensary on the way and picked some up. And they make a whole scene out of everyone, trying all this. They all get high as fuck. They're all tripping balls on this stuff.
Which was a way for there to be more character development on the characters, more so the girlfriend, the younger girl who's there, because we learned that she's going to college to become a scientist,
she's gonna be
not a marine biologist, but like something to that.
She's gonna be like an exobiologist.
Yeah.
And they make such a big deal out of this thing, but that was pointless. We literally spent like an hour build-up of all this stuff that really had no effect on anything later on. I thought something was going to be like maybe they weren't going to be affected by what was happening to the other people because
the weed was going to save them?
Yeah, like something like she was taking all these drugs, she took the weed, maybe something was going to cause her to not be affected by it or something, or to be affected differently, but it didn't really seem like that mattered. It was just things to kill time till the monsters came.
Yeah, that, and to have the characters do what they do while they're high, which, that's how they get infected in a way. There's not really good reasons to have this scene, but those are the main two. To learn that she's this fucking scientist, which comes into effect later-ish, and then also to have the older woman who's dying, go in that weird, I want to be with the earth. I'm so high, I want to be one with the universe, and goes outside because there's some crazy fucking phenomenon happening out there in the beach where everything is glowing. I'm going to tell you right there. If I was at a beach house, okay, and I was high as fuck, and I looked out the window and I saw the water, the plants, the sand, everything was fucking glowing, first of all, I would say, damn, this is some good shit. And then secondly, I would hide in a fucking closet. Okay? I would be hiding. I would not be going to fucking explore the glowing fucking plants. Because, let me tell you, it's not going to be a good time if you're going for glowing plants.
Yeah, I don't really know why they would go and do that either, because when I saw that, the first thing I thought was, well, there's obviously some kind of pollution or something down there that you don't want to be involved in, so don't get near that. This
is the other thing you don't do. While the plants are glowing, if you look out into the ocean and you see a fog, a mist, slowly coming onto land, and now it's approaching you, you run the fucking opposite way and get the fuck out of there. You don't stay there to inhale this shit that you don't even know what the fuck it is, and then you're coughing up you just smoked weed for your first time and you're coughing like an idiot everywhere. Hello, this is not what you do. You run the hell away. But no. And this is how the mist / fog, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, because that's not really, it's not explained, but it's mentioned that it's not fog, but we don't know what it is.
Yeah.
That's how you get infected, is via this vapor bullshit that just came from the ocean.
Yeah, so the next morning they all wake up, they're all hungover and everything. They wake up in the afternoon. The younger couple go down to the beach, hang out for a while, just lay in the sun. And I said to Betty, when he said his car keys down in his shoe, I was like, oh, that's going to bite him in the ass later, because he should have kept those in his pocket. Sure enough. But, so the guy decides he's going to go up, hey, we haven't seen the older couple. I better go check on them. He goes up to the house, leaves the girl on the beach. Out of fucking nowhere, after he leaves, the older guy just appears and is like, hey, we were all one with the earth last night. And, he gives the whole hippie speech. And then he just decides, you know what? I'm done. And he just goes and walks out into the ocean and just keeps walking until he just disappears under the water. Now, at this point, no one's really showing any signs of becoming a monster or doing anything creepy. So why did he do that? Why did he just be like, well, fuck it, I guess my wife's going to die, I'll just walk out in the ocean? Was that his... They weren't real clear on what it was.
He knew he was infected and he wanted to out himself, and so he did. Maybe he just, because we kind of see that later on in the movie, the end of the movie, where whatever. But now, this movie was definitely a slow burn. Google's top voted tags are slow, forgettable, creepy, gross, disturbing, unsettling, and illogical. And I have to say, I agree with all of these tags because this movie is all of the above.
Yeah, and so after she, the younger girl sees him walk out into the water, she decides she's going to walk out towards the water. And she happens to notice, there's all these large, fleshy blobs just laying all over the damn beach.
She sees that after she already got fucked up in the foot.
But she steps on one of them and immediately gets a fucking worm, crawling into her foot. Her foot is just, burned, blistered, and crawling with worms.
Yeah, no. This is not... No. You don't know. And then she takes out the worm later. And this is the point. From this point on is when the movie does tend to pick up its pace a little bit. And we already know that she's not going to go back into the house and be like, let's get the keys and get the fuck out of here, because the boyfriend is going through his own bullshit in the house where he's getting attacked by the girlfriend, the older woman, yeah, who is now mutated, and she's all fucked up, and it's just downhill from here. It's not going to be a happy ending. You already know that these people are majorly fucked. I would have just left after, okay, my bad. Didn't know my dad let you guys stay here for the weekend. We're young. We could just sleep in the car, or we could just go somewhere else. I would have not stayed there with these strangers. And it wasn't the strangers' fault this happened, because, some crazy phenomenon that happened that we don't really know. There's no explanation. If you're one of those movie
There's
goers...
a brief thing. She hears somebody say on the radio one time, briefly, it's some phenomenon in the sea, but they cut in and out where you really can't hear all of it. Phenomenon in the sea has released, and then it's static, causing everyone to mutate, but they don't really say what it is.
No, that was their half-ass way of shoving some kind of explanation out there, but it doesn't explain anything. So we don't know where this thing came from, what it is, what the whole purpose of it is. It's just a peak in a moment of these people's lives. And that's it. There's not going to be a backstory. So if you're that kind of person that you need to know where they came from, you need to know what they're doing, you need to know everything about every facet of the movie, this is not the movie for you. Just watch something else, because this is going to leave you very upset. And like someone else said in the reviews, they wanted, who are they going to get to talk to get their money back for the 90 minutes that they spent watching this. It's not, I wouldn't say it's the worst movie ever. It was definitely visually, it was visually very beautiful, because you're at the beach. There's a lot of beach scenes, and it is kind of trippy, and you get the sense that maybe you're becoming, one of these things, because it's a very trippy,
there's a lot of scenes of the ocean and the water and strange shapes under it and this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and water rushing and the crazy shit that happens in the water. And the water is I do not like the ocean, and I do not like space, because those are two things that are not been fully explored. No one knows what the fuck is in either one, and it's dark. So those are not my favorite places. And this movie also falls into the body horror category. And I am not a fan of body horror because I'm fucking squeamish. I can see someone get chopped up and, sliced and diced, as mentioned in that awesome movie. And Scream. But I cannot get through body horror where there's weird shit happening. It freaks me the fuck out.
Yeah, she literally pulls the worms out of her foot with a set of tongs, salad tongs,
and it's moving around in there, and you're no, oh,
yeah,
terrible.
I thought this would have been good if it had been part of an anthology. If they had done an anthology about body horror or something like that, and this had been a 30 to 40 minute entry into it, it would have been pretty good. If you'd have picked up the story, you could just show them coming to the beach house, then the next morning everything happens, all the strange shit happens that they go through. That would have been good. There was just, I know they were trying to be build suspense and do some character development, but it was just a little too much with nothing happening.
It was very slow. I don't care about these people. I still don't. I do not care about... The boyfriend was an asshole. The couple, they were weird. We don't really know. They were really fixated, and I thought that maybe they were fucking aliens or something, because when you were watching the movie, I didn't read about what the fuck the movie was going to be. I knew it was going to be Lovecraftian, but I didn't know specifically what it was going to be. I thought they were like weird alien people, and then they came in and it was going to be like the pod people thing, because they were really strange. They were obsessed with youth. Like, oh, you're so lucky to be young. Oh, you have your whole life ahead of you. Like, both of them were always commenting on it.
No, that's just old people that do that.
They were not that motherfucking old. They were like in their late 40s, early 50s. I wouldn't think that they were not 60, 70 years old.
No, I know, I'm just saying.
That's just like an old people thing.
They tried to make it out like they were so old, but they weren't really that old.
Yeah, what was the line? Wasn't she the one in the movie that was like, oh, God, I'm 20. Like... What? You're not. That may have not been that movie. I just remember like recently watching something where the young person's like, "Oh, I turned 20. I'm so old. It's over for me." Oh my God, no. So yeah, the couple had nothing. Either couple didn't have anything going for them, and then this weird fucking thing happens, and it doesn't only happen to them. You find out as the story progresses, as they're like running away from the crazy lady that's, you know, mutating and dragging herself on the floor, that there's other people that are in their beach houses and they're also infected, and they're kind of like, I don't want to say zombie-ish, but they're kind of zombie-ish.
Yeah, they all kind of lost the ability to walk upright. They're all just kind of crawling or throwing themselves around on the ground.
Well, that would make sense if they were those pod things, because those fleshy pod things, they look like a big ass snail if someone like skinned a snail. And, like, there was no hard shell. It was just, like, the slug, but, like, fat. Ugh.
It was like a flesh-colored, blobby snail just laying on the beach.
They were disgusting.
It was like tendrils. It had some good effects. I'll give it that.
No, it had good effects. And, you know, it's definitely something that will get in your head. And it, you know, like I said, if you're a body horror fan or if you're, like, weird fucking water bullshit, this is a movie for you.
This is one of those movies that's, like, a good, like, first effort from somebody, you know.
Oh, definitely.
That you're like, okay, I see what you were going for. You managed to pull off some pretty good effects. There's some creepy stuff in it. It doesn't all quite work, but I can see where you're like, okay, well, maybe we'll give this guy a little more money next time and see what he can do.
It's definitely a better movie than the second movie that we watched.
Yes. Now, so what would you rate this one? I'd give it like, out of 4 knives, I'd give it like 2.5.
I give it 2 knives, and in case you're wondering, because I did say spoiler earlier, how this movie ends, everybody dies. That's how the movie ends.
And they just kind of, everyone returns to the ocean.
Okay, well, we don't really see, we kind of see that, but we don't see that. And the whole part of her being a scientist, like that specific kind of scientist, what was it again?
Exobiologist.
She, because she's understands that in order to be something new, in order for things to come new, that, you know, things have to come together and, you know, strengthen the fucking DNA within each thing, whatever, to make something new. She literally just like succumbs to it and
it's just kind of like
lays down and lets the waves wash over her, and then she disappears, and that's how the movie ends. Yeah, but this next movie, which I have to say is my new favorite movie that I hate.
Listen, baby, you're gonna have to talk to me sooner or later. You can't just disappear. Ever since you left, some kind of thing's been coming out of the woods every night. I'm going crazy without her. I'm going around town telling people there's a big bad wolf trying to blow our house down.
Maybe she got tired of waiting around.
You should just tell your sister she ought to just come on home.
Told you so.
Yeah, kitty.
And I don't hate to say
You see what it did to my door?
you didn't
How do you know, though?
I saw it. There ain't one town don't have someone saying they seen something they can't explain. You're right about most things, but you're wrong about one thing. You are enough for me, Abby.
Hell, I'm not entirely convinced it's not you. You're like a werewolf or something.
So there's not a lot of movies out, as you may or may not know. I don't know if you're living on planet Earth at this moment, but
We were trying to do, for this double feature, we wanted to do 2 movies that neither one of us had seen before.
and we're newer. Technically, The Beach House came out in 2019. That's when it started going around the film circuit, but Shudder just picked it up, so it's new to Shudder and everyone that didn't see it in the film circuit.
And this next film was kind of the same thing. It'd been on some festivals last year, and it got released, like, it came out, like, on VOD earlier this year, and it just got picked up by, like, it's on Amazon Prime, and you can also watch it, like, on Canopy and Hoopla. They've had it earlier this year as well. And it's called After Midnight. And I know that there's a lot of, like, indie people in this movie. This is, like, the perfect, like, storm of indie movie people, because you've got, it's produced by the people that produced The Spring, and what else did they do? Endless. It even stars one of the people from The Endless, and it's in all this. That Justin Benson and Moorhead is their names. I can't remember their first names right now.
Yeah.
But they're in the movies and all that. They're in it. Jeremy Gardner from The Battery is in it, which The Battery was a horror movie that came out a few years ago that they made for like $3,000. The zombie movie. They got picked up by Scream Factory and did well. But not well enough that, like, I saw an interview with Jeremy Gardner. He's like, it did okay, but I'm still waiting tables. So, it's got Bria Grant in it, who's been in, like, Beyond the Gates and, a lot of other indie movies. And we didn't realize this going into it, but they're both kind of relationship dramas.
Big time.
And this one is the 2 main characters, the Jeremy Gardner's character and Bria Grant's characters, have been a couple for a while. She just leaves him a note one day that says, I'm going to be gone for a while. Sorry. See you soon. And after she leaves, the day after she leaves, this creature starts coming to the house, clawing at the door, trying to get in.
Now, just like in Jaws, we don't see the creature until like the last 10 minutes of the movie.
It's not even that. It's the last 5 minutes, 3 minutes of the movie.
What they could afford, because all the money went to this creature. And let me tell you, it fucking paid off because the creature looked awesome.
Yeah.
But that's where all the money went, because it's one of those one location films. It's just in an old house in like somewhere in Florida.
Yep, it's an old house and a bar. Those are the 2 locations. He goes to a bar a couple of times, and he goes to the house. That's it. There's no other locations in this movie. And I suspect that the bar might have been the other side of the house, but I can't confirm that for sure. But, yeah, so the movie it's only 84 minutes long, and I would say 80 of those minutes are just him being upset that his girlfriend has left, talking to people, drinking, flashbacks to when they were together, and then
The movie should have been called Flashback.
Yeah, and then every now and then the creature will claw at the door and he'll fire the shotgun at it, and then it goes away, and then he complains about it to people. No one believes him. They'll just, you're just making this shit up because your girlfriend left.
The cop or the sheriff or whatever is like the girl's brother. So he comes around a lot, and he's complaining to him, and the cop doesn't believe what's going on. He just thinks that he's lonely and crazy, because the girl, his sister left him. So it's a lot of flashbacks. Like, you see the love that these people have shared, and it's within a time frame of 10 years. They started dating when she was 23.
Just out of college.
And now they've spent 10 years in this house, which I'm just going to let you know right now, in those 10 years, no one thought maybe we should get furniture, put up a fucking curtain, because it's the most bare fucking it looks like Katrina hit it and then someone moved in. It's just the most bare house ever. But, you know, we don't have money for set design. There's literally, like, later on the end of the movie, there's, like, the one room with a table in it. And, sorry, Tabby has decided that she's going to eat her dinner. So you may hear some crunching in the background. So, yeah, the film is just... You know, it's mostly just a girl and the boyfriend talking.
Yeah.
It would have been... If someone would have told me this was a play, I would have totally fucking believed them. Okay.
You could pull this off as a play very easily.
Big time. Actually, I would prefer this as a play.
Yeah, if this was a play, it would be the most amazing play I've ever seen.
Yes, please someone just make this into a play. Whoever thought this needed to be a movie, you're wrong and I apologize. Good effort, though. But just make it into a play and I'm there.
Yeah, and, you know, you see them, like, you kind of see the relationship kind of slowly. You see her getting a little disappointed with things as it goes on. But, you know, you don't know for sure. You're wondering for a while, like, is she the creature?
I thought she was a creature. I'm not going to fucking lie. I thought she was a creature.
Did she turn to this thing and she's coming back now trying to, like, get his attention and talk to him? And he's going to, like, I really thought for a while it was going to end... Like, he was going to run after this creature one night and shoot it, and then it was going to turn into her after he shot it. And that was going to be the end of the movie. And I was like, oh, okay, that would be kind of cool if that's the way it went down, but that's not how it goes down. So, alright, spoilers from here on out. You have been warned.
Why are you going to spoil the movie? I guess we already did.
Yeah. So, like you said, it's all relationship drama. The girl finally comes back and says, hey, you know, I just haven't been feeling it. We're not going anywhere. You're never going to fix this house. You don't ever want to leave this small Florida town. I do. I want to go places. He's like, well, we'll talk about it. They have a dinner with their friends that night. Everyone's over. They're having a good time. Then, her brother, the sheriff, has to bring up, hey, while you were gone, he was crazy. He thought a monster was coming around and he was out shooting at it and telling everybody he set a bear trap for it and this monster just crawled out of the bear trap. He's nuts. You can't stay with this guy, blah, blah, blah. They get into this big argument about it, and then the guy is like, okay, I want to be serious. I want to commit. I want to move. I'll sell the house. I'll do whatever you want. And then he...
Wait, hold on. Before you get into the thing, because then the podcast is over if we just say what's going to happen. When you were saying that you thought that she was going to turn into the thing after he shot her, I thought it was going to be like the fucking Lover's Vow from Tales from the Dark Side, where she was like the gargoyle.
Yeah.
And, he had one fucking job, and it was not to ever fucking tell anybody about this fucking experience.
Yeah.
And whatever. That would have actually been... very good. I wish that would have actually happened, because just like the beach house, dun dun dun, there's no fucking explanation, like, at all. They're just literally not even. And the craziest thing is, since no one has believed him this whole time, okay, this whole 80 minutes of the movie, because the last 5 minutes of the movie was like, this could have been, Chad was like, this could have been a fantastic short if it was just, a little bit of the beginning or whatever, and then you have this ending.
You could have even done the short of just her coming back and saying, hey, I'm sorry I left for a month, and then got cut to the dinner.
She went to Miami, okay? She was eating tapas, okay? And fucking mangoes and shit, and fucking going to jazz festivals. Like, why did she come back? She obviously does not like to live in the... southern life of just sitting on the porch drinking lemonade overlooking the cornfield. This is not what this woman is about. And
she did have shit at the house to pick up.
I mean, a toothbrush she could have just bought one at Walgreens. She didn't even have her favorite curtains up because there's no fucking furniture or anything in this damn house. There's a table with a runner and some glasses, and I think there was a fire mantle in the fucking scene where everyone's having dinner.
Yeah, there was a couch because he kept sitting on the couch, remember?
Yeah, I guess, and the 2 chairs outside. This could have been a dope ass house to like renovate. Like, this would have been on one of those fucking crazy ass.
But that was part of it too, was that he never did anything to fix the house.
Yeah, he sure didn't. He was a lazy fuck. The first time they were in the house and the like initial flashback, they're just sitting on the floor like a lot of people do when they first move in. They don't have furniture. They get the furniture together. But it's been 10 years, bro. Every flashback after that, they barely had anything. I'm sorry, I'm really focused on the fact that there wasn't a lot of furniture in this. Because they made it over and over again. They're like, we've been here for 10 years. We've been together for 10 years. I was like, is this going to be like the number 23 where we're going to see the number 10 everywhere? Like, what is this whole big thing with the fucking number 10? Like, what's going on? So as Shad was saying, because I didn't want to just jump to that, because then what else do we got after if we fucking say the ending of the movie?
We got some things to talk about afterwards. But so he decides to do this whole like cute romantic comedy thing of he's going to get the karaoke machine out and he's going to sing her this song.
Because it's her birthday, we mentioned that, right? It's it's her birthday, and all the friends have come to celebrate. To hey, come. And who comes back? If you're in Miami, I'm sorry, I have to get it right now.
Okay,
you're in Miami, okay, for 2 weeks. You couldn't be like, oh shit, my birthday's today. I'm gonna go back to Hoboken fucking cornfield porch the next fucking day. No, you're like, no, I'm gonna leave on the day of my birthday to go back to the fucking boring fuck place that I left to begin with. What the fuck is wrong with you? Why did you do that? You could have been on South Beach drinking fucking mojitos, okay, dancing it up with some fucking Latin lover while you were over here, on your birthday. No, you decide you're gonna go sit on the porch, fight with your boyfriend, because that's what you want to do on your birthday. Complain about, I'm 33 now and I haven't lived a life, and I don't, you don't want to come in, and we don't have children, because all the scenes you would see how he would be approached with different things, dinner conversation, whatever, about having kids or things like that, and he was not about it. He was like, that's not for me, whatever, ha ha ha, that's never gonna be me. And you can see like the subtle like disappointment in her face, and it slowly shows you how this couple is tight in the beginning when it's all fun and games when you're young, but when things start progressing and you're trying to build a life with someone and that person's really not interested, how you're like, oh shit, they're not interested, I'm devastated, now what the fuck I'm gonna do, and you start pulling away. Which, I mean, I feel like maybe one of those guys were going through something, whoever the fuck wrote this, and maybe they were going through that, and like, you know what, let's just throw a monster, because this is like a love letter to his girl. Because let me tell you, when he brings out the karaoke machine that people before had been singing their little songs and having fun at the party, he fucking sings Stay by Lisa Loeb. I was like the fucking 90s girl, like, oh, here's my fucking butterfly clips I'm fucking put in, like, you say, I'm all singing along, and I'm like, oh, this is so romantic, he's singing to her, but the whole fucking time I'm like, this motherfucking monster is gonna fucking come and ruin the party. Oh, he's gonna die. And Shad's like, nothing's happening. Nothing's gonna happen. Nothing's happening this whole movie.
This is gonna be it. But he's like singing "Stay" by Lisa Loeb, and I think he just finished the last note of it and sets the mic down when out of fucking nowhere the monster just leaps on his ass like
a quarterback. Okay,
just like boom, monster on his ass. And he starts fighting with it, and everyone in the room just jumps up and goes, what the fuck?
This looks like a porcupine had sex with, like, fucking a creature from the Black Lagoon and a scorpion.
Yeah, it's a crazy looking monster.
It is fucking mad crazy. And it looks great.
Like, they fight for a minute, and then, like, everybody just stands there and goes, oh, like you kind of would. I mean, that part I liked, when everyone just stood there going, what the fuck?
No one is doing anything. This guy's literally fighting this fucking fish scorpion monster on his own, and everyone's just like, oh.
So, it runs away for a second. He chases it to the other room. Someone says, go get his gun. No. He chases this thing out in the other room, and he's so fucking pissed off at it now. He literally rips the antlers off the deer head that's hanging over the fireplace, and he stabs this motherfucking monster to death with the deer antlers in the living room.
And he's covered in blood, and he's on his fucking knees, and you're like, oh my god, this guy's gonna, like, at this point, still no one's doing anything. They come into the room, they're all staring at the doorway like, ooh, what?
Somebody's finally holding the gun, and no one is still shooting the thing. He's still stabbing it to death. Then he gets done, picks up the bottle of wine that's on the floor. He's still on his knees.
Okay, he's still on his knees. You think that he's gonna die, because the thing did attack him, and you don't know how badly he was attacked.
He's covered in blood. You don't know how much of it is his and how much is the creature's.
And he's already on his knees, like Shad said, and then he asks the girlfriend to bring a fucking bottle, and I'm like, a bottle of wine. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Oh my god. He turns the bottle around, and at the fucking bottom of the bottle is a fucking engagement ring. And he asks, I'm just dead. And
that's the end of the movie.
I'm done. I was just like, what is this movie?
Now here's the thing. Earlier in the movie, he mentioned that he bought this cheap ass wine. It's called Pinot Noir. Now it's deliberately spelled like peanuts, like the peanuts. He bought this wine in Georgia, and he was having her drink it, and she was a wine snob, and she was like, this is terrible. He was like, well, we got a whole case, you got to drink it. Now, did he put the ring in the bottle like all these months ago when they bought this wine, and he was waiting for her to drink this bottle and find the ring? Or did he do it just recently because, when she came back, did he do this?
Now, I find it very interesting how you thought about that, because that never even entered my mind, and I have no idea.
He mentioned a few times about you need to drink more of this wine.
Okay, so he probably had the thing there, but guys being guys, he couldn't just say, like...
Well, he was trying to do the misguided romantic thing of, you'll just find it when you drink this wine.
No,
Instead of just picking the bottle that had the damn ring in it, set it on the table, and go, let's drink this bottle of wine tonight, and let her find it. He wanted her to go through all this and do this, and bullshit.
Okay, now I'm going to say, people out there, all of you people... Okay, your significant other, you're in a relationship, you want to ask a person to marry you. That you do that cutesy bullshit when you're maybe, I don't know, together for 2-3 years. It's been more than 5 years of you guys being together, okay? That's not how you ask somebody to marry you. By one day they'll pick up the fucking wine in a crate of God knows how many, 6, 12, 24 fucking bottles. He did not have time on his side. She's been waiting for this. Let's give her the benefit of the doubt. Let's say that she's been waiting for this proposal for the last, I don't know, 7 years, okay? 7 years. Just give her the damn ring already. Just give her the ring. This is not pussyfooting around. We don't have time for this shit. This is not. You're not 23 anymore. You're fucking 33.
Now you mentioned the Google reviews for the other movie. So the Google reviews for this one. This one's my favorite, where it just breaks it down. It says 1 star, acting, pretty good. Horror, almost none till the last 2 minutes. Script, it just says That's my favorite one of the reviews. All the reviews are pretty much what we said, by the way, which is, hey, this was pretty fun in the last 5 minutes. I wish they'd got to that sooner.
Also, how did this amphibious monster, because it looks very fishy, the monster. I know that we're in Florida, but where the fuck did this thing come from? Where it was living in the cornfield, and then also, how did it get in the house? I said it had a key, because earlier in the movie, there was a... early in the movie, when the fucking monster got into the house, there was a lot of rummaging the monster did. He knocked some shit over. It looked like the guy had been freaking like someone came in and like tried to steal his shit, rummaged through. That's what the monster, at that moment, that's when I was like, later on at that point, I was like, Shad, the reason how he got in the house so quietly, he had gotten the key earlier when he was here.
Yeah, because like the monster, like you never heard a door like bust open. If you heard the door bust open, or
he was a gentleman,
or even if the thing jumped through the window and got him, I would have been like, just nowhere. Like, did they just leave the front door open and this thing just strolled in? Which, in case, I feel like you're kind of asking for it. If you leave the front door open, the monster comes in. That's your fault.
Why did the monster decide to pick this one guy? Because this monster came back for 2 weeks every fucking night. Every night he came back. Why?
No, it was a month, because it happened the day she left, and she was gone for a month.
Oh, I thought she was gone for 2 weeks.
No, she was gone for a month.
Oh, damn, that's even worse. You waited a whole month and then you came back on your birthday?
Yeah, he waited, this thing was there a whole month.
Yeah,
she was gone.
That's right, because we said we thought that it was her. It would have been cool if it was her. Yeah. Or maybe it was related to the Predator. Who knows? Who knows why it was there?
It really would have been better to me if he had just tracked the thing down, shot it, and it turned back to her. and then you just never got an explanation. It was like, oh, maybe that's why she left. She was dealing with this or whatever.
I would have been pissed off. It was her time of the month. They had been together for 10 years, but because he didn't want to commit to her, that made her a fucking savage monster, and she just went strolling in the fucking cornfield. That could be a whole paper written about relationships and women, how they, turn crazy sometimes.
But yeah, so I don't know, this one, it's not that it's a terrible movie, it's just so slow that you're so wanting, something's gonna happen.
I'm gonna tell you right now, you go into Amazon Prime, okay, you put After Midnight, you scroll to the last 5 minutes of the movie, okay? Before you hit like the 5-minute marker, however, it's 84 minutes, go to minute 78, okay? Then you watch the movie from there, and then you have the whole fucking movie. Do not sit through this movie. I give this movie 1 knife, okay? 1 knife. And it's only because of the last 3 to 5 minutes of the movie. That's what makes the whole movie. Because the flashbacks was the whole movie. There was flashbacks galore. I've seen every they went, to the farmer's market. They went paint shopping. I mean, they did all kinds of shit. Those things didn't actually happen in the movie, but they showed them living a life together throughout different points of their life. And it was like, wow. Definitely whoever was working on this, whoever made this, like the script or the fucking concept or whatever.
Well, this is the guy who's in it, Jeremy Gardner.
Oh, okay, Jeremy Gardner. I
believe. Go ahead. I'll double
Did
check,
you have something to say to you? Were you going through some relationship drama in your life during this time frame, or you had a friend that was going through it, or a sibling? Because you really worked that shit out via this movie. This is the best form of therapy, is to write a screenplay, because you could just get all the shit out.
Yeah, he did. If he was having issues with this, I think he worked through them sufficiently.
And then you were like, you know what? No one's going to buy this movie. No one's going to want to see this movie.
Yeah, it was written by Jeremy Gardner, the guy who starred in it.
Yeah, Jeremy Gardner.
And also directed by him and another person, Christian, what was this other person's name?
Well, of course it was, because it's an indie film. So he did the makeup, he edited.
Stella. Yeah, they did almost everything in the movie.
He edited. He was the monster. He was the hand puppet monster, because there was no one in the whole fucking suit outside the door. It was just literally an arm grabbing, around the door, and then that's it.
Yeah. But I feel like this one, I'm going to give it 2 knives, because I'm going to say this is another one that I feel like, okay, the last 5 minutes of this movie is really great. I feel like this is the same thing. If you gave this guy some money and said, this thing probably cost $10,000, I'd say.
I would say no. Wasn't this a SAG-AFTRA movie? I think it was a SAG-AFTRA movie.
They may have gotten it, but anyhow, it's not that much. In terms of budget for it, it can't be that much. I feel like this is a guy where if you said, you know what, here's $1 million to go do a movie with, which is a pretty big indie budget now, I feel like he could deliver a pretty good movie, He might be
able to deliver a good movie. I'm going to say I give the movie 1 knife, but I give the practical effect of this monster 5 knives, because that fucking monster looked fantastic.
Yeah, it was a great monster.
It was fantastic. It was a great monster. It was like movie quality. I mean, obviously this is a movie, but I'm saying it was like big budget quality looking. So whoever did the practical effects for this, which I did not look that up, kudos to you, my friend. You did a great fucking job, because the monster, and you see in the poster, which is why I chose this movie to watch, because it got high ratings on Amazon. So 164 people gave it like 3.5 or 4 stars, which is a lot. So he must have had all his friends just rate high on there, because I don't see 164 people saying that this movie is fucking 4-star worthy. But the poster has
it has like a small picture of the monster.
A small picture of the monster, but like illustrated, and that's what drew me in the film.
And it's like I said, the monster is what sells it for you, really.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this double feature where we visited the beach house After Midnight. See what I did there?
Oh, I did.
And After Midnight. You can catch both of these. Well, one is on Shudder, and the other one is on various platforms.
Amazon Prime, Canopy, Hoopla, a lot of different places have it.
Thank you so much, and stay tuned to the horror.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.